ready to go? And we are live.
Oh, well,
Good
hello.
good evening, everyone, and welcome to the School of Conscious Evolution Soulful Chat on a Wednesday night. I am so glad to be here tonight with Melinda Ann. And so, good evening, Melinda. How are you?
Good. Good evening to you and
Uh,
good afternoon
Good
to me and
afternoon.
everybody on this time zone.
Of course, yes, you are like 11:30 in a
Yes,
Pacific time,
yes,
and we are in the UK, British Standard Time. So, and it is summer.
yeah. It's
Finally,
summer all around the world right now. The heat is on, as they
I
shall
hope
say.
so. I hope
Yeah,
so because we
yeah.
didn't get much luck so far. So we are
Mhm.
grateful. We are
But
grateful.
I'm honored to be here again, and I appreciate you so much for
Yeah.
us doing this again. And hopefully,
Mm.
we can enlighten a lot of people today.
Oh, absolutely. So, so true. And, like, you have a lot under your belt in terms of work with spirit and your day-to-day job, and I'm certain that we will never run out of things to talk about,
Mhm.
and I know that. I'm just wanting to check the comments. So, good evening, everyone. I can see people have started joining us. Pop in and say hi, drop us a line. Oh, there you are. Isabel Felix. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. So, um, how do you sense the energies have been recently? I know you do a lot of work online. Good evening, Nancy. My
Hi,
lovely
Nancy. Hi,
for
Isabel.
joining us.
Um, the energies, I mean, especially since this last full moon, there
Mm,
was a ball up of energy. And
mm,
I believe it was affecting a lot of people around the world. And it was an energy for the masculine and the feminine of you to come together, man or female, and to learn to work with both of those energy. Because as my dear friend Debbie explained to me, that when you think about it, the flame, the internal flame, it is our masculine and feminine energy. I'm not
mm,
very good with that word. And the purple light comes from within. And what I believe is most important is people need to learn to come within, to
right,
sit with their cosmic spirit, to
right.
understand it, to know that you're put here on this earth, to learn to walk with you here on this earthly plane and that cosmic spirit that is inside you. And to me, most people don't understand because most people are here of living into the day-to-day ruckus in the world and all that
Absolutely.
is going on, the news and everything. So I try to stay within my spirit. When I get down and frustrated and things get to me, I look at it and I set it aside. I was like, okay, that's serve you right here. Let me stay from the heart. And it's very important to work with yourself from the inside, to
Mm,
sit with your spirit. Go walk with yourself.
yes.
Talk to yourself. I talk to myself all the time,
Mm-hmm,
every day, all
mm-hmm,
day long, especially when irritation or something gets to me. I
mm-hmm,
talk to myself. I talk myself out of it, and,
mm-hmm.
and to just to be in the now, because we have to live here. And I am a firm believer that once we learn to walk with our eternal cosmic spirit
Yeah.
on this earthly plane that we live, then we become more peaceful,
True.
graceful, we get gratitude,
So
we
true.
get loads of understanding, and we get loads of understanding of people around us because we can feel their energy. And
Mm-hmm.
people around us sometimes do not know. So I've learned, instead of getting irritated what the person might have to say, I learned to say a silent prayer for them and to listen, because when we listen, we get a little understanding about them and where they're coming from, because we all learn and work our own way through life in different ways. So you listen and you understand. And I always just send secretly prayers to them. And then eventually, as when I go like around town and with people, I get people that I don't even remember talking to come back up to me and say, "Hey, how are you? I
Mm,
remember you. You told me this."
mm,
So it does go off and they remember, and some will contact you. So that's the most
mhm.
important thing, is to
Yes,
learn to walk with your cosmic self, your spirit, and to
absolutely,
be your true self. Follow those desires. Be
absolutely.
everything that you wanted to be. Set an example. If the generational pull of what the way you were raised is bringing you down and giving you a
Mhm,
chip on your shoulders, break
mhm,
it. Break
mhm,
it and be you. Because
mhm.
that's what we're all put here to do,
Yeah, yeah,
is to walk in our own spirit and soul. Hello,
absolutely.
Jennifer, Nancy.
Yes. So
Legacy friend.
I was so absorbed into all that you were saying, and totally hear you and agree with you. And then suddenly I realized that there have been more people coming in. So I just wanted to say hello and good evening to Samantha, to Nancy, Jennifer, Marion, Fran, Piers, Isabel joined us at the beginning. So yes, absolutely. And I think, we can explain this concept in many different ways, but at the end of the day, this is exactly the very one reasons why we are here on earth. We have this bodily experience as a soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hear you when you talk about masculine and feminine energies that are coming together, and what you're describing to me as a result of being present to ourselves is actually the fact that we rebalance our energies, and that
Mm-hmm.
we are constantly under pressure, and then they are being swayed and battered and bashed sometimes by life events, health issues, worries,
Mm-hmm.
work, and so on and so forth. And we need to learn to actually be more kind and gentle to ourselves, and this is exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I hug myself every day and I say, I love you. Let's
Oh,
do it.
beautiful.
Every day I hug myself. And it's also important to us to, like the homeless, or the, homeless in the street, or people that you see, and most people look at them and judge them like, look at that person. You're not
Mm,
supposed to do that. I look at those people, and if they give me eye contact, I'll give them a nod or a hello, or I look at them and I say, oh, God bless them. Bless
yeah,
their heart, bless
yeah,
their soul,
yeah.
because they're still trying to figure it out,
Mhm,
so, and
mhm.
we as the world, because we are the world, we are the people and the brother and sisters of the world. So we as the world need to stay together with people. Since the pandemic, it's brought so many people together from around the world, like things like this and Zoom and meeting when it was shut down. To
Yeah,
me, that was a beautiful shutdown from our creator, to shut us down. That was a give
yeah,
us a balance and some understanding to see
yeah.
what we need to do.
Absolutely agree. I mean, the biggest awakenings spiritually do actually happen when we are subjected to a strong shock. And therefore, COVID and the lockdown was exactly that.
Hmm.
And as a result of it, I have heard very many stories of people changing completely their career after that, um, and finding their real selves, because this is what the silence brings. This is what the shock brings. When we are questioning, we start questioning what we do, why we do things, right?
Hmm. Yes, I agree. It's It took me understanding because I was the person from probably the age of 12 growing up, that I knew this was here, but then I shut it off. I shut it off with alcohol, and some drugs. And
Mm-hmm.
I probably several times almost didn't make it here on this earth. But then when I started getting into it in 2015, I realized that, oh, finally, there are people here
Mm-hmm.
believe in what I believe in. So let me gravitate and let's go find those people. And now I have. I met Jennifer. I met several people in the classes I did with our dear teacher Barbara, who passed. And
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. And life is, like they say, in giving, we receive.
Yes,
It's not, life
absolutely.
isn't about what you want.
No,
Life
no.
is about understanding what you want, but do you really want it? It's in
Mm,
giving when we receive. And
mm,
we're not here to judge anybody for anything that they did,
no,
even if it's horrific. We always just need to pray for their soul and their spirit that they find their way, whether still here on this earthly plane or when they go back to their eternal cosmic life.
absolutely,
You
absolutely
know,
so, absolutely so. And it's so, it's simple to understand, but not easy to do, right? Uh,
no, no, it's not easy. I fell back many, many times, and there's certain times that I fall back and I go, "Oh, wait, what are you doing? Get back on the right path." Because it can be a hardship, especially if you're doing it
mm,
yourself and you're always one that goes there and always there for others. But yet, when you
mm,
have a big project or things to do, then
mm,
you're left alone and you feel like nobody cares and nobody wants to do
mm,
anything. And
mm,
so for myself, I look at it as like, while I'm always there, and now when I need some things and help in doing things, there's nobody there. It's silent. And
mm,
that's when it gets me the most. But then I realize that I'm
mm,
not alone. I have the power of
no,
the universe that is at my fingertips.
absolutely.
And
And
one
I also,
important thing that
sorry.
I realized is that I was thinking of maybe I like to have a new car or vehicle, but it's like, and it's like not manifest. Then I realized the thing that needed to come to me first is my
Mm,
roommate moving and
mm,
me making the decision to have my own place and go into my own one bedroom by myself. That's the
wow.
first step that I needed to make. And
Mm,
I realized that was what they were giving me first, and then things fall into place. So you have to know that what you want the most isn't what you need at the moment. They know
mm,
what you need, but you need to
mm,
realize it. And when
mm,
I made that decision, I realized, oh, that's what I have to
mm.
do first, is to
That's
get
so
on my way
beautifully
and go.
explained. That is so beautifully explained because you see, you have just explained how to find the connection to your own soul and spirit by rebalancing, by giving, by sending love and power and healing to others. And then suddenly you, as you get the connection with your own higher power or, your own soul, then you start realizing what your needs are. And then, spirit will jump in and they will provide for you exactly what you need, right? And this
Hmm.
is what you have realized. You have a list of things that I'm sure you need, being the car one of them too. But spirit said, actually, that is more important. And so that's what came to you. But because you have awakened to the power of spirit, then, obviously you understand, you can hear, you mentioned earlier on that when we give ourselves enough quiet time and space, we are able to listen and to hear those intuitive thoughts, which are of
Hmm.
divine nature and of spirit guiding us.
And
And,
that's
and
important. Pay attention to your instincts, your intuitive thoughts, because those are usually not wrong. Those are usually the spirit going, hey, 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 hey.
mm,
So that's
mm,
that's 100% correct. I agree. And
mm,
it's hard for people. It's hard. And, and another thing that we have to do is some people that are hard and it's hard for them to do, and they can be hard about anything. You really just have to listen to them, and spirit will give you the right words if they're real serious. And spirit will give you the right words to put a smile on their face, to give them a little, oh, okay, and bring them out of that. I don't want to say it's darkness because most of the time it's sadness, and it's
Mm-mm.
sadness of losing someone
Mm.
special or dear to them,
Correct. Yeah.
because as you say, that never goes away. So
No.
it's in the sadness. And I always pray now that people in my morning prayer that no, grief doesn't go away. It's
Mm.
always with you, and you walk in it. You take your time, how you figure it out, but you'll get stronger with time, and you'll
Mm.
learn to walk with it and through it. But it's always there also for you to remember how strong you were from over here to now,
Mm.
as well as a reminder.
Right. So
So it's just so beautiful, and there's so many people out there. If they would just, all you really do is need to just sit and listen to them. You don't tell them what to do or anything. You just
no.
listen to them. Yes, I see. You
Mm.
know, just by doing
You
that
make them
opens them
feel
up.
validated, right?
Yeah, validated, and just by doing that, it
Uh,
brings them more open. And then sometimes little words might come out of your mouth, and they go, "Oh,
mm.
yeah, okay, I
Yeah,
get that." Yeah,
and they can resonate with that as well.
because a
Absolutely.
lot of people have been told what they need to do. You
Mhm.
need to do this.
Yeah.
Not really. When you get a certain age, when you become an adult and you get a certain age, nobody
Mm.
should tell you. I've learned nobody should tell you what you need to do and how you should do it.
Yeah.
No, you
No.
do it on your own. They should advise, maybe try this, maybe try that, but you do it all
Yeah.
on your own. Find your own way to do it.
Absolutely right. And I find it's a commonplace that people provide unsolicited advice, and they tell others what to do. And that is also true that, that can be hurtful if the person is grieving, the person receiving the the advice is grieving. They will feel even more hurt because
Sorry.
oh,
That's little Roxy. Roxy, stop. I'm watching one of the little doggies.
oh, okay, right, right. We don't mind. So yeah, it's to do with receiving unsolicited advice, and I think that the fact that you just mentioned, one would give advice rather than listening, that would make the whole difference, isn't it, to the person that needs that love and support.
And I found in my journey of life, most people who tell me what I need to do are
Yeah.
people who tell everybody what they need to do, but they're
Mm,
not looking within and
mm.
doing what they need to do.
That's so beautiful again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because yeah, I can see it's a mental process, it's an emotional, psychological process, and they do not realize that themselves. You see, so imagine when you are actually that connected to spirit and you have that sort of understanding, then suddenly when you walk into a room, you bring peace because you have this beautiful in-depth understanding of the human mind, of the emotions and the workings around it. And so and it's just precious, I think, you know.
Hmm.
um, but then what I hear as well from you, it's tons of unconditional love and compassion, which surely they do come from a place of peace because you've done all of that work already yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so Georgia is saying, my greatest freedom of late is just being myself and following my instincts and angel and spirit guides. It is beautiful, still a work in progress. Well,
Yes, it is.
do we ever finish that work?
No, no.
No.
There's always a curveball that comes at you when you think you have it figured out.
Yeah,
There's always a curveball that comes at you, and you're
curveball.
like, "Uh-oh." There's another lesson that comes. There's
Oh,
always learning. We're always learning
and it is also true that sometimes we keep getting the same lesson over and over again,
until you
right?
finally get it. Yes, that
Yes.
has happened to me. Oh, numerous
Oh,
of times.
same here.
Numerous. You think you got
Same.
it, and you're walking high because, aha, now I can do this, and I got this. And they're like, pow, pow, pow. No, you don't. You don't
Yeah.
have the truth of it yet. Yeah.
Like looking at, past and then say to myself, I've seen this twice already. Why still here again? Or dreading what is next lesson now. I had to come to that point, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but I must say that I have come a very long way. And I'm not saying by any means that, I won't have any more lessons to learn, not at all. But I think that when we awaken to a certain level, having learned so many lessons, then you still learn the lessons, but with a higher perspective, because
Yes.
we transmute, um, you know, as to quote our dear friend Debbie, we transcend, okay?
Correct.
We transcend, and therefore we still learn lessons, but from a different perspective, and we work with spirit rather than against our ego,
Hmm.
because this is what ascension is all about.
Correct.
Ascension is not something, although the word is abstract and a lot of people can't make sense of that. Effectively speaking, what this is about, it's to do with learning our lessons until we learn them and we start seeing life from a higher perspective, eagle eyes view, so to say, which is
Yes.
spirit, right? So when
Hmm.
we become one, this is what happens. And I can see the beautiful soul that you are. You have absolutely done that, and I agree with Jennifer Rose. Thank you for your comments, Jennifer.
Yes,
Most
Jennifer.
definitely we transcend and evolve and elevate all the time.
And
All,
Danielle, I experienced too when you think you learn that lesson and it comes back at you. They're also showing you a way to learn it in a different way for someone else's understanding that you might want to come across and give it to them as they would understand it, if that makes sense.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And sometimes we see those lessons being learned, but this is a new thing that I'm noticing. It's like as if spirit is telling me, oh, by the way, can you see what's happening to that person? Do you recognize that? And I go like, yeah, I've been there. And this is
Mhm.
where I develop the compassion and the love for myself,
Right.
where I spent a lifetime trying to criticize myself for not being perfect enough, for not being lovable enough, and so on. And I'm sure this is like a regular human pathway to learning self-love, and therefore to learning to reconnect to who we truly really are,
Mhm.
which we are a spark of divine connection, divine being. So we are part of God, we are a divine being. And
Mhm.
I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about energy.
Right.
Okay. And so we see that Georgia is actually understanding that as well. So therefore God offers us, the mirror effect of past experiences, just to refresh,
Right. And you got that right. That's our lesson in life. To when we learn to love ourselves, we're able to do this work and move forward and understand anybody that we see on the street.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
exactly right. It
Yes,
comes from within first.
absolutely. And I know because I've been there.
Yeah.
And so, and we are also bringing this conversation to the platform because we want to those that are joining us and maybe they're not yet there or they're getting there, to say, to bring, to keep going, and that better times are ahead. It's not that we suffer less, but because we gain better understanding somehow of the workings of life,
Hmm.
um, then we can manage what happens to us differently, not
Correct.
because it hurts less, but we are more compassionate, not just to ourselves, but to others. So
Mhm.
rather than bringing hype, we bring peace again, because it's a circle,
Right.
basically, right?
And as you say, you review yourself of where you were and where you came from. So I have multiple journals that I have since I started doing this work. And there are times that I'll sit out there and I'll go back and review and
Mm,
I'll see, wow, I was here and I think I'm going nowhere, but yet look how far I have come. So
yes,
to have something to review is very important as well,
yes.
because it gives you a sense of understanding,
Mhm.
and it'll also lift your little spirit and light up again, because we're
Correct.
all here to shine our light.
Oh yes, absolutely,
We have to let it
absolutely.
radiate.
Nothing less. And we are here to shine the light, and we are here to, as mediums, evidential mediums, we also bring messages from spirit as a proof that we as a soul, we move onto a different dimension, um, and that life goes beyond what we know down here, on Earth, if you like.
Mm.
Yes. Um, we were discussing, about this chat tonight, and there was something that you were gonna prepare. Is that right?
There was what?
Was it like a trans channeling or trans speaking?
Yes, I would
If you
like to
feel
sit
up,
here and see if they would come through and channel a
of
message
course. Yes, I
for
would love.
everyone.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I'll give you a moment and I'll go quiet.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here today. We are stepping forward today to let you know how proud of we are of each and every one of you who have joined in on this chat today. There are many that work together on a daily basis. It's a beautiful thing that you come in and support everyone that you work with and support the people that you don't know. We would like to let you know that there is always going to be a good balance and then a curvy balance. But as long as you ride the waves and you go through it and stay from within, you will be able to manage these balances. The world has many, many horrific, terrible things still going on. But then there is that time to where in the world there's so many beautiful, flourishing, and uplifting people who are out there spreading the light. People are more kind, people are more generous. People look at strangers now and they say hello instead of walking straight ahead, focus on where they need to go. So know that every day, every minute, the world is changing. There is peace, there is love, there is gratitude. We see the grace, we see the understanding coming from all around the world. It's so beautiful. It lights up the universe, the cosmos, way, way, way up above. The light show is way better than the northern lights at all, because when people transcend, and they're moving up forward, and they're walking in their earthly plane in their own true selves and following their desires. It is better than fireworks. It is better than anything. All of us up here, we sit and we watch this happen each and every day, every second of the day. It's so beautiful. It radiates. We want to say that it creates even more beautiful stars and colors in the sky. If you noticed how the colors have been brilliant lately. Even in the storm clouds, in the darkest of the clouds, people are in awe because they're understanding the beauty of nature in the world and they're loving awe. So we wanted to just step in here just for a few minutes to let you know we are here, we hear you, and we're always here for you. Stay in your light, go with love, keep the gratitude, and keep the peace, and above all, the kindness flowing around the world because it is radiating more and more than you ever know. We thank you and we wish you all the best. Namaste. Okay.
That was so beautiful.
Whew. I like how, yeah, okay, let's do this. And for
Excellent.
me, when I first learned to do that, it would take time. But now I was waking in the middle of the light. It's like you're worrying, go back to sleep. It's gonna go. It's gonna flow. So
Mm.
I am glad, and I hope everybody got a little message out of what they had to say. Because no, you're not alone. We're always being watched, nurtured. If it's angels, guides, our loved ones, they're always right there with us, guiding us along the way. And never, never forget that.
That is so, so beautiful, Melinda. Who are your guides? I'm curious.
I'm curious. Well, when I first started one, the first one that took me on my rim was Jesus. Jesus was the one because I was always a firm believer in Jesus. And he was the one that showed me about the people in the street and that it is real and to not let anybody bring you down. Just be your true self. So he was the one, and I was even I had, you could say I had lunch with him one day because I just saw him and I knew it was him sleeping homeless in our parking lot under, I don't even know how he was there. And I went to work and I thought, oh, I need to have this man leave before the bosses come in because they're not going to be happy. And so I went in and I got a bottle of water and I put a rubber band with $5. And I said, excuse me, the office is going to open soon. And we're going to need you if you could kindly go on your way soon. Well, he turned around and he looked at me and I was like, oh, Jesus. And he portrayed himself to me like the little Annika drew him way
Wow.
back in the day is exactly what he looked like. And so I was like, wow. And then I went back out because, of course, one of them came in and I went back out. And I'm like, yeah, I know he's there. And I'm not asking him to leave. That's Jesus. And they're like, well, you don't know that. I said, neither do you. And I'm not asking him. So she went over to the market and she came back and she says, hey, they wanted to let you know that the homeless man, I said, you mean Jesus? Yeah, he's in the market. So I went over to the market and I went through the whole store. And everywhere I walked, they're like, no, he's over there. I did not see him. They could see him, but I did not see him whatsoever. So I
Mhm.
went back into my office because it was just across the street, and I sat at my desk and I was ready to eat my lunch. And I had a big window where I sat. And I looked out, and he came out of the store with a brown bag. He had a little sandwich and a soda. And I was like, oh, he used the little money I gave him to get something. And he literally sat there and had lunch with me. literally sat right there and had lunch with me. Then he finished eating, he packed his stuff up. I watched him walk over to go throw it in the trash, and he was walking away. So I hurried to get out the office to see. And I ran to the back of the alley, and he was walking up that way. And I could just see the backside of him walking. And I was like trying to catch, and he just turned around and looked at me and went like this, and then he was gone.
Wow.
He was gone. And right there, that was my sticking to this and following my desires. Um, and then I've had one Irish one, I call him Finnegan Beginnigan, who comes in, who came in when I started doing trance and all this. Right now, there's when I sit in trance, there's an Indian. His name is Red Cloud. So there's a few now, but they're always there. But it was just that was my opening. And I would go and ride my bike, and these guys would be sitting because Jesus can present himself in many, many different ways. You never know. And every time I would see a man sitting on the street for a week and a half, I would be like, I have to give them something. And every time I did, they were gone. I
Mm.
never seen them again. And I remember one day I was a little aggravated and frustrated with my work duties and my boss and all that. And the last one that I saw walked by my office, and I was like, let it go. Here he is again. Let it go. So they're there. You just have to pay attention. You have to believe because your guides are there. And I was so honored to have him because I always talked to him as a little child, you know.
Mhm.
So it was a blessing for me, a blessing.
Uh, I mean, I've been having goosebumps listening to your story, and nothing more beautiful than spirit confirmation, vibrationally speaking. I could feel it from your heart. I could feel the vibrations, and obviously you've been so very touched that every time you tell the story, you feel like um, nothing else but the truth, and that is the truth,
Mm.
nothing else. No matter what others say, you've been there, you've experienced it, and he wanted to you to witness that. And Melinda, I've been coming across a few people now that they have been mediums. They've been talking about Jesus and having seen Jesus, and it's mind blowing because, with the theories of the New Age and the Ascension, there is the talk. It is said that in this era we will see the coming of the Christ consciousness. And
Yeah.
this is to bring the balance in our energies, of course, but it's not to do the rebirth in a body of Jesus, because that's already happened. But it's the consciousness, is the energies, that beautiful love and unconditional love, um, and showing itself to others. I feel this is what, people are going to start experiencing, just like you have. And
Yes.
what a treasure and an honor for you to have been touched so beautifully by, by the encountering of Jesus, him
Yeah.
choosing you to be seen above all.
Yes, and to see him, you know.
Yes.
And I don't know if it was after that when I now, like, if I work, I see the visions on the wall. They give me visions on the wall as well. So I'm blessed with seeing, and it's like I was brought in to do my spiritual work. You could say, as in the biblical days back in the day, his apostles. Well, look, there's many of us all around the world now
Mm.
spreading the goodness.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
if it's not believing in God, whatever you believe in, it's in the universe. It's all basically the same thing. It comes
Absolutely.
down to one thing, the
Mm,
grand spirit up in the sky, and the
absolutely.
creator of all, no matter how you believe it was created.
Mm. And also this brings me to back to what we were mentioning earlier on about how COVID has influenced most of us, um, in terms of reconnecting to our higher self, true selves, and questioning, life and how we go about that. And it is also true that, the spiritual awakenings, um, are happening to people in so many different ways, right?
Yes.
So Jennifer is saying, I've had many come to me saying they connect to Jesus. Oh, there you go as well. But shy to admit because of fear of judgment, of course. My answer is, why wouldn't he want to connect and love and help multiple souls?
That's what he does. That was his mission to come on earth, is to walk the earth and connect with multiple souls.
Absolutely, absolutely. For me, the visions, what I truly, truly saw, was actually Mary Magdalene
Yes.
and Juanin. Juanin, whom I basically discovered has the same, is the Lady of Compassion. So the same energy as Mother Mary in two
Hmm.
words. Um, and as I was meditating and I was touching a very low moment of my life, she had just appeared in front of my very eyes, and I just struggled to believe it. Yet I could feel all the love and the energy like
Yes.
overwhelming me in that moment. And a box of tissues weren't enough in that occasion because I just could not believe what was happening right there. And so we, as we go through the trials, yet we are being blessed with knowing that we are not alone, that we are looked after, and that with our experience and witnessing an experience, we can help others.
Hmm. Yes.
And for, as you say, we can bring the light, that we can bring the light to
Mother
others.
Mary is another very, very powerful one as well. Sometimes when I'm doing development or working or giving a reading, she will come through to me on the wall, and I will know it was her, it's her because of her veil and everything.
Yeah.
And I also, she comes through giving me messages, and I am now learning to connect with my grandma, my mother's mother, because they're all Marys in some way. Well, my grandmother is a Mexican lady, Ophelia, but my mother's mother is Mary, and her mother's mother was Mary. So those Marys in everybody's name. I believe it was Debbie or Craig in development told me that anybody with the name of Mary was given the name because they are blessed by Mary and she walks with them. And,
Ah,
that could make some sense.
yes. Oh, yes,
I am
absolutely.
a fan of hers 100%
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Same here. Absolutely, same here. And I'll tell you more that I have experienced the presence of Anna, who is Jesus' grandmother.
Yes. Oh,
And oh, she was the matriarch. I mean, the power that she had in terms of coordinating the women in the family to tend after Jesus and to help him, in every way possible to create and keep that networking around
yeah.
him. You know, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and
And
so
just like Mary Magdalene, same.
Mary Magdalene is the
Mary Mary's, yeah, same.
yeah. Oh, yes, that's true. Exactly. And she
It's the
was
same.
Mary. Yes, yeah, that's true. It's true. And the beautiful thing is that, um, what do we do then? If what would you say to someone that say, I know of a person, okay, I won't mention for privacy reasons, um, an absolute tragedy struck her family, and her husband had a terrible, terrible accident, and he's basically forever in not conscious. Basically, is not in coma, but he's no longer conscious,
Mhm.
and it's been like that for about 5 years. She was very religious before, and then lately she said, I don't believe anymore in something beyond that. What would you say to a person that has lost that sort of, because her husband has had uh, at least 3 times the hospital called her to say he's passing, come and say goodbye, and it didn't happen, and it didn't happen, and she was so traumatized by all of this. What, because you are an end of life doula, how would you help someone like that?
How would I help her? I think I would first tell her to please go back and look at yourself as a child, what you believed in, who you believed in, and your faith, and realize that faith is not what did this to you or to your husband. It's just the way of the universe and the way of the world. Some people could probably be rude and say to her, well, you gave up your faith. No wonder this happened. That's not true. That's not true. That's
Mm,
not true whatsoever.
mm,
And for me, if he's been that way, not conscious, not speaking, and you
mm,
go visit, don't
mm,
leave him alone. Make sure you talk to him.
mhm.
Make sure you hold their hand, play
Yeah,
some music. I
yeah.
mean, is there somewhere in your thoughts or your heart, should I just, if it's a machine, unplug it and let him go be free?
Mm,
Because that's probably simply all that needs to happen instead of hanging on to all of that where you can't even communicate, and
mm,
to let him go, that puts you right back into that beautiful light of love,
mm,
religion, and everything that you believed in, and that
mm,
he will always be right there with you walking. You will
mm,
most likely feel his presence once this happens, and he would be so, so honored that you finally made a decision, because you're not supposed to hold on to him just for yourself. Remember, he's a soul, he's a spirit. Think of that,
mm.
is what I would say to her.
Yes, yeah, I could feel obviously, and it's so beautifully said, Melinda. And I think there is a lot of anger, a lot of hurt, a lot of shock, and 3 children to look after. Now they've grown up, 5 years on. They are almost adults, and you know but it's so interesting. I love to bring real life examples, because sometimes people think that because we talk about love and light, we are airy fairy and not connected to real life events. But oh no, we really are, actually, because in the first place, we can talk this way because we've been there,
Mhm.
and we've learned, and it's not because we're better than others. It's not at all. But we are ahead of the others in the past, if you
Yes.
see what I mean. And so, and because spirit put us through, or life put us through so many challenges to make sure that we would become strong and elevate, transmute that pain and those challenges into something, the most beautiful energy, which is love, which is
Love.
compassion, okay, which is understanding, um, and then someone like you walks in a room and everybody feels like so relaxed, and I wonder why, right? Because the energy that you're carrying within yourself is actually expanded beyond your body organs beyond your skin, and it just precedes you. And this is how you can tell when someone it's it's in a good place, and people can sense the energy. You know, I worked for a little while a couple of years ago in a new age store. I mean, I was a reader there, and there were so many young people coming, and it was so beautiful to hear them talking like, oh, I could sense the energy in the room wasn't good, so we decided not to stay at that party or something. Wow, someone is switched on here, right?
Yes.
Generations that are coming in already with that switch on, and they don't even know that. you
Right.
know but they just follow that gut instinct. For instance, many children, like with special needs and ADHD, are like that. They are born with that.
Oh, 100%. Those are angels. Those little children are angels.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so it's so, so beautiful. So, what can I say, Melinda? It's been, I think this is the right point to just start closing down,
Right, Debbie?
and just say thank you very much for the ones that have joined us a bit later. Krish, Debbie, Fulham Spiritualist Church, Isabel, Georgia, Jack, Krish, everyone. It's been truly a beautiful evening. And with Melinda, we've had a channeled message from a spirit, and we talked so much, and I know that we've got more to say on the next date that we will certainly have with Melinda, because we love having Melinda here.
Well, thank you so much. I truly do appreciate it.
We
And
love
thank you. And
Melinda.
my thoughts for everybody today is I hope everyone in here got a little piece of something to take with. And just enjoy yourself, stay in the light, be happy, and look at what comes at you, bad, terrible. Just know it's bad, it's sad, it's terrible, but you will get through.
Yes,
Know that you will get through, and
yes.
reach out if you need someone to speak to. There's always someone there for you.
And that's the truth of it, really. And that's the highest truth. And so, as we start waving goodbye to everyone, I would like to say that next week my guest will be Sue Witten, and we will talk about something completely different. And we will be doing some perhaps channeling, but also mediumship readings. We will be touching base on beings from other dimensions.
Ooh.
So we will be touching on many things, angels, and we will go in depth about what could what is thought to be on the other side, as well as us moving to the other dimension. So it will be a very interesting one.
Oh,
So
yes. Something
yes,
I highly believe in myself.
there you go, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to tune into that one.
Fantastic. It's going to be so lovely, so lovely. So Bob Robert is asking, does Melinda have a YouTube channel?
No, Bob, not at the moment, but you can find me on my website at cosmicrising.com. I am on Facebook as well as Melinda Ann, or Cosmic Rising Melinda Ann business page, and Instagram Cosmic Rising 8. I am working on things. It's a beginning for me, but I'm always here to, there's WhatsApp or something. If someone needs to talk, I'm always here for you.
Yes, so beautifully said. Thank you. And thank you, Bob, for asking. And I will be publishing these details tomorrow morning with my thank you to Melinda
Oh,
for
thank you, Danielle.
tonight.
May
And
it cool down for you there.
I hope so. We are not used to it. I'm not mourning. I'm just not
And
used
thank you, everybody, for being here. Truly do appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you so, so much. I've just truly enjoyed the evening. Thank you, everyone, for all of your love and helping us hold space for spirit and for our soulful chat tonight.
Yes.
Have a
Yes.
lovely, lovely evening and a good reminder of the day in the Pacific side for Melinda and other ladies that have joined us tonight. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. British Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard
Pacific.
Time.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you then.
Thank
Take
you. Bye,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good day.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.